The TIE Bomber, known for its tankiness and high DPS from the rotary. This TIE Bomber's a little different. This is a standard laser TIE Bomber. Very similar to its rotary-using cousin, the standard laser TIE Bomber is shunned by the rest of the community. After killing its opponent, the little TIE Bomber is struggling to get the flip for his team. For in this solo queue, it is a struggle. The morale quickly falls against this TIE Bomber. He seems to lose all of his power. Power management is a struggle. He takes damage. He's losing hull. He's right over the dish in the middle of the map. He gets dunked. What will the TIE Bomber do as the flip comes? Immediately losing a chaff. After that, disable. He is now on the run. With very little in Oxes remaining, the morale bar at minimum almost. This TIE Bomber smoking and fire launching from it as it's near the light cruiser. It decides to continue its run. Hear the beeps as an opponent tries to lock on to the TIE Bomber. Reluctantly, it returns to its mothership to refresh. It comes back out and assaults the flip. We'll return to the TIE Bomber now, beginning its damage orbits. It looks very similar to its rotary cousin. The TIE Bomber is not taking any damage essentially, and just orbiting, using its chaff to avoid some missiles, sending its Godos in, and doing damage. Almost single-handedly, the Delta Nebulon B has been worked down by the standard laser TIE Bomber. The opponents have barely even bothered him as he continues to work through it. His hull is getting a little lower as he does this. But still at 57. The Nebulon B in these vanilla mods is at the out of phase range. It's at the oop range. This TIE Bomber has done his job, even getting in a resupply before the flip. Now the TIE Bomber will begin farming on defense. This is an important part of the TIE Bomber's life. Taking out the AI. Will he do the out of phase that he so patiently and diligently set up? As he watches the Golo hit, takes out most of the AI and he finishes off the last. Then moving on to his next pack. Their team is ahead as the opponent has not done more damage on their first attack than the Empire side was able to do. Slowly working away at this AI. A double out of phase is almost set up for the opponents though. Luckily the Empire side does have two to counter with. In this sort of ladder play you never know if your opponent will do an out of phase or not though. An extraordinarily good position here as we see a Mean Beam firing on a Nebulon. The last pack and a Nebulon goes down! Classic move for the solo queue. The NR side didn't realize how good they had it. And that's gonna automatically push them through to the Star Destroyer. Will his Empire team be able to defend it before shields can be gotten? The TIE Bomber down to just multi-locks. And the flip comes. luckily before any damage can come. The TIE Bomber returns again to the safety of the hangar. Back out doing damage. These Nebulons have very little left as the Empire is going to push onto the MC with almost full morale. We see main beams doing damage. Another lock on this little TIE Bomber as he's got a little dunk on him, but the dunk is able to avoid all damage of obstacles, using the obstacles for protection. Coming out around near the MC, it seems like this TIE Bomber is trying to set up an attack run. See, he's under a lot of damage, using the cover of SLS Station to try and set it up. Again, there's a lot of pressure on him and his hull is low. But making a run towards the shield generator. He knows what he needs to do to help his team out. He's making that straight line though where he is so vulnerable. Using a chaff, he stops, putting all that damage into the shield gen, and get it halfway down. TIE Bomber diligently watches. He is now just going to run away like the coward he seems to show that he is. He allows his team to do all the work, slowly taking down the shields without even destroying them, even though this shield gen is down to 3. The TIE Bomber tries to survive here as he uses the station for protection. It's not targeting its enemies so hard to know how close they are. It seems like he has the safety of the Nebulon very close. He's going to make it back all the way to the hangar because the Nebulon is already dead. Empire side wins the game. The standard TIE Bomber lives another day. But for how long?
A boom, boom.